everybody. Excuse me. Welcome back. I'm here going to do a quick, well, maybe not so quick, WIP and chat with you guys. I've got the camera zoomed in kind of close so that you can see the section that I'll be working on. This is a portion of my Oraloa design that are from Oraloa company. The Be the King diamond painting that I got, that I showed you guys a unboxing of, I think it was last week. And so I'm doing this section right here, which is the top of the lion's nose. So I can zoom out a little bit for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. So you have the lion nose here, the whiskers, you know, the mouth right there, and a lot of color on the sides here. So we're working on this little section here. I know that like in the past I was using a camera that really wasn't good at focusing or zooming or anything like that. So I am doing my best to fix that. I actually got one of my old cell phones out and am using that to, excuse me, my arm went in front of the camera, using that to record, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit better for you guys. I'm fully aware that this is a process and that not everything is perfect, so I am trying very hard to make sure that I give you guys good content. But it is a learning experience, and we do need to kind of make mistakes in order to get better, right? You don't learn if everything's perfect right from the jump. So I am working on this. I have been working on it since since I did the unboxing for it, which was, I think the day that I recorded it was the 7th, either the 6th or the 7th, I can't remember, of July. I was super excited to get into it, so I kitted it up right away. Maybe it was you know what, it might have been a day earlier than that, because I believe that I wound up finishing the truck, the cactus truck that I did first before I kitted this up. So I have it written down that I kitted this up on 8/7, and so I've been working on it since then. I actually started diamond painting this the following day, so 8/8 of this month of July, or August, excuse me. I don't know. Don't know my months apparently. So 8/8 of August, and I've been working on it, you know, an hour here, an hour there. I worked on it quite a bit today, actually, last night and today, to get quite a bit done. I got some of the Diamond Art Club diamond paintings that I ordered came in. One of them was a back order, so I'm extremely happy that I was able to finally get it. I will be doing an unboxing of that one, and then I got 2 more from Diamond Art Club that I will do unboxings for as well. I have a couple of other things that are coming in the mail that I will show you guys as well. But for now, I figured, since I am really into doing this one, that I would do a WIP N Chat with you guys. So I hope everyone is doing fine, or more than fine. I hope everyone is having a good summer so far. I don't have young kids. I think I told you guys that in another video. So I don't have young kids, but I know that the kids went back to school recently. So I hope that any of you watching this who have children are comfortable with them going back to school. I know some people, friends that I've had in the past and stuff like that, they kind of always seem to have mixed feelings about their kids going back to school. Some of them love it because then they're like, oh, I have time to myself, or I don't have to be worrying about whether or not they're staying busy or getting into trouble, whatever it may be. So some of them really, really like the fact that their kids go back to school. Others kind of go through a yearly empty nest syndrome where they get all kind of bummed out and they're worried about their kids and stuff like that. So I hope that all of you who have children who have gone back to school are doing great and aren't being overwhelmed by helping with homework or after-school curricular activities. I'm not sure if any of that stuff starts right away. I know, I believe, I don't actually know, I believe that in the older years, if they're into sports and stuff like that, some of that tends to start before school starts anyway, so you guys might be in the routine of taking the kids to practice, or the stress of making sure that everybody's got all their uniforms and all that stuff. So I hope that everybody is easing into the new school year without too much hassle, right? My son's older. I almost just left it as at old, but he just recently had his birthday, as a matter of fact. He turned 30 the other day. And, unfortunately, we're not as close as I would like. But, it's kind of funny to think about it, because, the older you get, you still feel kind of like a certain age, and you don't necessarily feel the age that you actually are. So with me, I'm 50 years old, but I don't feel that way. I feel probably early 30s, as weird as that might sound, but that's really when my life started to make sense to me. So my mom, when I talk to her, she talks about how inside she feels roughly about 18 inside. She feels like she's stayed kind of around 18 years old. And I guess that's when her life really started to flourish for her, or she felt as though it was the end of something and the beginning of something else, which is, you know, for me, it didn't happen until I was in my 30s. I was living on the East Coast in Maryland and decided to move out here to Colorado. So that for me was a significant change. And so for me, it feels like that's when my life really started. For me, anyway. I actually started feeling like I was growing up then. That I actually was more stable as a person and more understanding of myself. I was very, looking back at my childhood, I was very isolated, at least I feel like I was. So I don't, and what I mean by isolated is, I mean, I have a lot of social anxiety, and I have a lot of issues, or I used to have a lot of issues with depression and stuff like that, so I don't feel like I started to overcome some of that stuff until I was in my 30s. I felt more bogged down by my own insecurities and such up until then. So moving out here was really, I guess, therapeutic for me. It really caused me to realize maybe not everything about myself, but definitely enough to where I finally knew that I didn't have to have inner struggles, if that makes sense. You know, I knew that whatever was going on in my head, I could overcome. So that for me was pretty significant. My life out here in Colorado has been very good to me. I've made quite a bit of difference in my life and how I used to live it to how I live it now. Hold on, I need to get a drink. I also noticed that because I paused and got a drink, that I was talking very monotone. I get like that when I'm just paying attention. I'm paying more attention to something else than what I'm talking about. I have a tendency of, it's very difficult for me to multitask. I'm not very good at it. I try, but I'm not very good at it. I did read somewhere, wait, did I actually read it or did I hear it? I might have heard it on the internet. Not everything on the internet is true, I know that, but I read that, or I heard that multitasking isn't necessarily a real thing. Like, people in general can't multitask. They can't do multiple things at once. What multitasking really is the ability to change between multiple things fast, at a relatively fast speed. So it seems like you're multitasking, but you're not. You're able to just switch gears and go from one thing to another at a fairly high rate, which I cannot. I have to, 9 times out of 10, I feel like I need to complete something before I can move on. My husband, it's actually quite funny because my husband is a very talkative person at times, and he loves to talk during TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So I very, very rarely ever choose anything that we're going to watch together, because he just winds up talking through it. And I can't focus. Like, it's either one or the other. Either I watch the movie and pay attention to the movie, or I have to pay attention to him, and then I don't get any enjoyment in the movie or the TV show. So I typically, it sounds weird, but that's the truth. So I typically, he always asks me, what do you want to watch? You know, do you have anything in mind? And I'm like, nah, just pick something, because I know that I can't focus on it if I'm going to listen to him and pay attention to him. But then again, he knows if there's something that I really do want to watch, he tends to kind of limit how much he talks, because he knows that I'm not going to pay attention to him. I'm going to pay attention to the movie. I call it mother hearing, right? Mom hearing. You get so used to hearing things in the background and people talking and stuff like that, that you wind up blocking all of that out. And that's pretty much how my brain works. I just block everything out. If I need to focus on something, I'm like hyper focused. I don't see really or hear anything. There's constant times where my husband and I will be out. Specifically, I can refer to yesterday we went to Costco, and we just recently got our Costco card, so it's just the second time that we've gone there. And if you haven't been to a Costco or Sam's Club or something like that, it's actually quite overwhelming. There's so much to look at. There's so many things, and everything is so big, and there's a lot of people in there. So I am super focused on what we need to get. I'm also looking at, possible things for next time that we don't need right away. And so I'm I walk around kind of like with blinders on. He's constantly telling me, hey, watch that. Somebody's on your right, and that kind of stuff, which is annoying and hilarious at the same time, because I'm like, I don't want him to constantly tell me that I need to pay attention, but at the same time, if he doesn't, I will wind up like running into somebody or something, because I'm just looking at where I'm going or what interests me. So it's actually kind of funny, but I don't even know where I was going with all this conversation. But I guess that's probably what a WIP N Chat is. It's just you talking about stuff while you're diamond painting. Maybe, I don't know about you guys, but I know that there's certain YouTube channels and stuff like that that I pretty much just have on in the background. I don't necessarily watch it all the time. If you're on my site or on my channel, I have one other channel that I am subscribed to, and that is Joan Diamond Paints, and I have her on like constantly, especially when I'm diamond painting. She does a lot of kitting up and kitting down videos, and they're quite long. They're about an hour. Some of them are 2 hours long, and I literally just have that on with her talking in the background while I'm doing this, and it gives me something to listen to while I'm focused on this, because I can't like watch TV really or anything like that. I can't listen to anything I need to pay attention to. I'm horrible with audiobooks. Like, I can't seem to really absorb them in audio form. I need the physical book, because if I don't have something to look at while I'm listening to the book or reading, so to speak. If I don't have the physical book there, then I tend to not hear all of the words. My brain won't, I just can't seem to focus on it. And if I do focus on it, I can't do anything else. So then I'm just sitting there listening to someone read so that I can absorb the book. And, you know, that just, in my mind, defeats the whole purpose of audiobooks. You know, as far as I knew, audiobooks were something that you listen to while you were doing other things, you know. So that was, I think, the appeal of audiobooks. Sometimes I like them because they really do, some of the voice narrators can act out the book very well, but can't do multiple things. I can't do anything while I'm listening to it. So I figure, why am I listening to it when I can't do anything? I should just have the physical book. That way I am flipping pages, I'm focused, and everybody who tries to talk to me can see I'm physically reading a book, you know, rather than them just being able to come up and be like, hey, and just interrupt the book, and I can't focus on it. So with that, like I said, I don't even know. We were talking about random things today. That's what we're doing. Random things. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Oh, I don't know how much you can hear. I'm trying out a new microphone. Hopefully it works. If not, then I'm not sure where I'll go from there. I'll try something different next time. But if you can hear it, I don't know if you can. My dog is chewing a bone behind me. So if you hear like kind of crunching or whatever, it's him. He's my little cutie pie. And I gave him a bone so that he would leave our cat alone and would be nice and quiet while I was filming this. And I'm dropping drills everywhere. I just noticed this one on there. Did you guys see that fall? Tell you what. Sometimes I just miss these things. This section here, because it's his nose and going up to his eyes and stuff like that, super white. It's probably the brightest section of this. Well, maybe not brightest, but it's definitely one of the most solid color blocking sections. And as you can see, I don't multi-place. It's not my thing. I'm not good at it. I do it every once in a while, but I really don't like doing it because anytime that I multi-place, I still have to go back and fix all the drills. So it's like, I feel like, well, what's the point? You're not saving time. You're actually making it a little bit more tedious because you're placing however many it is you're using, placer you're using. Me, I would typically, when I would multi-place on some things, would use a 4-placer. So, you know, you put 4 drills down and then you're going back with tweezers or the single placer and you're rearranging all the drills because of the gapping. So I feel like, what's the whole point of multi-placing if you just have to go back and rearrange everything? You know, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't save any time. I'd rather place it once and be done. There are some times, you know, like that one there, where you go to place it and it doesn't stick right away. But I'd rather do that and then just go and kind of adjust later on after you get the whole grouping done. Luckily with this though, even with the gapping that I see on this, I started in the middle. So I started at the mouth area and worked my way to the right, and then came back and then worked my way left. And so I'm minimizing the gapping by keeping them close together that way, bringing the whole painting in a little bit. For me, I find that is the best way to minimize gapping, especially if right off the bat, you know, the first couple of lines you do, you see gapping. Like if you're trying to do it within the grid, you wind up seeing all the gapping and you're like, I don't know if I like that. Well, it's up to you whether or not to fix the gapping. I understand that the paintings are drawn a certain way and they allow for the size of the drills, but I also feel like it's up to you as a artist of some sort, because I think that even though the drawings are already done by someone else, this is an art form. It's a craft. It's an art form. So I feel like if you have the ability to change drills out and stuff like that, then you also have the ability of how they're going to lay on the canvas. So I take the time to try and minimize the gapping as I'm going, rather than worrying about the end result that has a lot of gapping that I might not like. This, if you saw my last videos, I talked about this diamond painting is for my sister-in-law. My husband came through and saw the work that I've done so far on it, and he assures me that she is really going to love it. I hope so, because his sister lives in a different state. So I've met her and stuff like that, and we've hung out here at the house. It was last year, so I don't know her as like a great buddy, friend, sister, that kind of thing, but I do know that she is a very colorful person. She's a teacher, and she really enjoys art. So he helped me pick this one out. He said that she loves lions and she loves a lot of color. So that is why I chose this one. And we're going to get a frame after it's done. We're going to get a frame, and this is her Christmas present from me. And I really hope that she likes it. It's important to me that it looks good. That's why I was talking about the gapping. Sorry, I got distracted. That's why I was talking about the gapping. So it's important to me that she likes it. So if I can minimize the gapping while I'm working on it, rather than trying to fix it after the whole painting's done, I want to do that, you know? I want to make sure that I give the best representation of this that I can. Yeah. There's a lot of white, though. The whole painting's not like this, which is nice. A lot of people don't like to do white and black color blocks, at least from what I've seen, because they say that you can really see the gapping when doing that. A lot of them will, or I don't know if a lot of them will. I'm assuming that people will wind up single placing their whites and blacks or checkerboarding them to minimize on the gapping, because from what I can tell, those two colors in particular are the ones that show gapping the most. And I could be wrong. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong. It's okay. I am learning just like everyone else. It's one of those things where I feel like if you're not learning, then you're not growing as a person. And I don't want to stop growing. I want to make sure that I'm learning something regularly as I get older so that I don't feel useless, if that's like a weird word to use or a weird description. I don't want to feel useless as I get older, and I want to make sure that I still am challenging myself, if that makes sense. So, I'm not quite sure what else to talk about. We went and saw, did I talk about this? We went and saw Bullet Train, the new Brad Pitt movie that came out, I guess 2 weeks ago or whatever. That was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that movie. I like it when Brad Pitt is in movies that have, that are action comedy movies. It was really fun. His character was fun in it. And there was some cameos in the movie which were hilarious. So I thought it was done really well. It reminded me of, like, say, like one of my favorite movies is Snatch by, it was directed by Guy Ritchie. And I really love that movie. I love the fact that, I like the direction of that movie. I like that it is kind of arcadey, like arcade style. It's fun, you know, where you've got, I don't know how to explain it other than arcade style. Being a gamer, I think of it like that, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were super fun. I thought the storyline was neat. And I thought the action was pretty good on it. Brad Pitt doesn't seem like he's slowing down, which is cool. He looked like he was doing just as much action as he's done in other movies. So that's nice. That's nice to see. And it was fun. I'm glad that we saw it in the theater, because a movie like that, if you see it on the small screen, it just doesn't have the same feel. For instance, like John Wick, if you see that on the big screen, it feels different. Like you leave the movie with a more excited feeling than when you watch it at home. I like stuff like that. I like it when it moves you, you know. So that was fun. Really enjoyed that. What else is going on? I've been working a lot. I said in a previous video that I am a supervisor in a manufacturing company, and it's tedious at times, because trying to fix problems isn't as easy as just saying, well, this wasn't working right, you know. My bosses don't like that. They don't like simple answers. They want you to dig deep and find the root cause, right? Which is probably in every job. I'm not sure. I haven't been a supervisor for this long, but I've been in the company for almost 11 years now. I've been a supervisor for a year, just about, I think. I was a team lead before that, and a trainer and stuff, so it's just hard sometimes when you're trying to figure out the root cause of something and it all just leads back to human error, because they don't like to hear that. They don't want an error to be human. They want something that they can, something that's tangible, that they can fix. They don't want it to be just, oh, well, this person forgot to do this part of the process, but unfortunately, 90% of the time is that this person forgot to do this part of the process. And so then it turns into this big whole thing of, well, how do we keep people engaged? How do we keep people focused? And that's really tricky, because my experience, and everybody is different, but my experience is that the majority of the people that work there are going there for a paycheck. They don't necessarily invest very much in the work that they do. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of them. I do have a handful of people in my department that are very invested in what they do. However, the processes that we have need multiple people at various operations in order to get the work done. And when you have, say, 15 people that touch that certain item and work on that certain item between the start and the finish line, then, and you only have, say, 3 of those people that really care about what they're doing, and the rest don't. They just want to press a button, run their machine or whatever it is, and then go home. It's very frustrating to everyone. Not only the people that just want to go home, because then you have to try and have conversations with them to get them more motivated and to get them more focused and stuff like that. And then it's frustrating for the people who do invest more time into it, and then they get frustrated because they feel like they're doing all the work, and it's just not easy answers. But the company wants easy answers. They want you to, or I should say, doesn't want the easy answers. They want you to be able to fix it. It's not that they want easy answers. They want you to fix it. And how can you fix an issue where it's someone who would rather be doing something else, right? It's a hard time right now finding people that can, finding people to place in these positions. We have a lot of openings in our building, not necessarily my area, but in our building, in our company, and there's not a lot of people who are responding to the ads, right? Or we're trying to get people in, but we don't have a lot of people who want jobs. So it comes down to where the company, the people who are hiring, will just be like, make it work. This is the only people that we have, so you need to make it work. And they don't, in my opinion, they don't invest time to find out if this person is going to be a right fit. For one, they don't take the time to find out if this person even really wants to do this. Manufacturing is not easy work. It can be dirty. It's hard. It's taxing on your body, and it's not something for everybody. And when you've got somebody who comes in that is just looking for a job so they can get back on their feet, they don't necessarily invest in a career. It's very difficult to get them to focus and care about the job that they're doing. So it's a struggle. I don't know how many of you guys out there are seeing this type of thing in your workplace, but I just know in mine, it's very difficult to have somebody really like invest in what they're doing or make a career out of it. It's hard. I don't, as long as I've been with the company, I have seen very few people come through who actually want to make the company their career. Like, you know, do the work from the ground up and move up within the company and create a career out of it. It's very, very rare that I see anybody who does that. So how do you get somebody who knows that they're only going to be there for a year or two to be really invested in what they're doing? You know, it's just difficult. I don't know how other companies do it, or, you know, yeah, I don't get it. I wish that I did. It would be easier when I'm sitting down talking with somebody about how they neglected to do something. It's hard. I did not go to school for psychology or anything like that, so I don't know how to really get people motivated to, like, be happy to come to work and forget about their situations at home, whatever it may be, and to produce good stuff here. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm probably not wording it correctly, but I just feel like, you know, asking somebody to invest in something that they know they don't want to do and they're only doing until they can find something better, it's really difficult to ask somebody that. You know, everybody talks a good game when they're being interviewed because, you know, they just want a job. People aren't stupid. They know that it's easier to find a job if you've got a job, right? So they come in and they talk the game, and they talk about how, oh yeah, you know, I can see myself going into leadership, I can see myself doing this, I can definitely do this, XYZ, whatever it may be. And they make the recruiters happy and excited to have them in the company. And then we get them out here on the floor and we start talking to them, and then I hear, oh, well, I just needed something until I could find, you know, something better, you know. So it's like, how do you keep them motivated? I think with me, the few people that I have, because I'm supervisor, my department has 2 supervisors, so I'm the supervisor for the off shift, the swing shift. And the handful of people that I have, the ones that are not as motivated, we just tend to have conversations where it's like, okay, well, you haven't found something else, you're not ready to leave yet, you know, do you really do you really want your name on something that is not representative of your work, right? And so I try to reason with them, I guess is the best way to say it. And, you know, classes, management classes and stuff that I've taken have all been like, no, you shouldn't reason with them. They should be willing to do it, da 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 da. But real world stuff is, you know, just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean that it's going to work in real life. So sometimes you find yourself where you're just kind of trying to convince that person for that day that they are, that it's worth it to them to do everything that you need them to do, right? And some of it is just like making sure that they are moving product through the system correctly. You know, it's like, just pay attention. I know you do this all the time, but pay attention to what you're doing, because if you put the wrong numbers in, then it doesn't make, you know, it messes up these. If you don't put the right numbers in, it messes up the numbers down the line, and then we come back and we have to bother you. If you don't want us to bother you, then I need you to put them in there right the first time, you know. As stupid as it sounds, those are the kind of conversations that I'm having on a regular basis, because it's hard for us to get people who are invested. I don't know. Maybe it's just manufacturing in general. I mean, yeah, I've been with this company for this long, but it's the first, before that, this is the first manufacturing job that I've had. So maybe it's just this type of work that tends to have people like this in there. And there's nothing wrong with the people per se. I don't want you guys to get the impression that I don't like the people. That's not it. It's just trying to get people to focus on doing their job. I don't know. Maybe it is a whole, you know, manufacturing thing. Maybe it's just the way the cookie crumbles in this type of work. Like I said, I don't know. So it's challenging every day, trying to make sure that people are staying focused and on task, and trying to also figure out the problems, like trying to figure out why something went wrong, why certain numbers aren't adding up, and that kind of thing. And manufacturing right now, at least for the type of manufacturing that we do, we're ceramics. We manufacture ceramics. So the type of stuff that we do, the industry is a little slow right now in certain areas. So it's hard sometimes when you are not outputting the amount that you typically do every month. So that tends to allow people to slow down, because they're like, we don't have many orders this month, or whatever it may be. And so what typically takes them, you know, an hour to do, they're now stretching it to 2 hours. So trying to keep them motivated to stay on task is difficult. And, you know, I guess it's just one of those things. Like I said, you guys probably, depending on what kind of jobs that you do, are seeing similar things throughout your jobs. I'm not sure. But I pose the question, and, you know, feel free to let me know how you guys feel about wherever it is or whatever industry you're working at. If you feel like it's the same thing that's going on everywhere, it'd be interesting to know, because sometimes I feel like it's just manufacturing, or just my company, I should say. Sometimes I feel like, goodness gracious, what are we doing? Because it doesn't, it just feels like it doesn't go anywhere. It feels like we can't win sometimes, which kind of bothers me. But I still try to do the best that I can and try to treat everybody with respect and try to get them to get their job done with as much ease as possible. I mean, I get it. You know, a lot of people don't want to work, and I think that the whole stuff that we've been through as a society in the last few years has really taken a toll on people. And I say that with all good intention, because it's really, I feel like it's really made people kind of figure out or decide what's important to them. So, and I think that's why we're not finding a lot of people for jobs in our company, because I feel like a lot of people over the last few years have decided that they're not willing to just do anything anymore, that they are fighting for what they feel they deserve. And so you've got a lot of people who won't take jobs just to take jobs. And then you've got people that will take jobs just to take jobs. But I think a lot of the people who have worked, will say, not enticing jobs before all of this stuff happened. I feel like they're now looking at their lives going, you know what? I'm not going to do this BS job anymore. I'm going to find something that is meaningful to me. And I really hope that that's what's going on. And I really hope that at some point we will get more and more people who want to do this type of work. There are people out there, you know, I mean, you've got people who love to work with their hands, they love to figure out problems, and they would fit perfectly in a job like what we have. But finding those people, I think, is just going to take time. And until then, we got to just work, try to motivate and work with the people that we have, you know? So, anyway, like I said, it would be interesting to hear what you guys think of all that and what's going on in your industries. I don't know much about the other industries. I used to work many years ago in a supermarket, and I know that can get hectic. And I'm assuming that all retail can get hectic. Like, I don't know how people can do that job, tell you the truth, because the way that some people in retail are treated is just, I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, I try to always be very nice to all the people that I come in contact with in retail, because I can't imagine what it would be like to just listen to just wait. I don't know. I know from my experience in a grocery store that, you know, people are not nice at times. And so it would be, I wish people were nicer to the people in the service industry. I take an Uber almost, or pretty much daily. And so I always make sure that I'm very nice to the Uber drivers, and I always make sure that I rate them appropriately, and I treat them well and give them tips and stuff, because that's another job that I don't think that I would be able to deal with, is to just drive people around. It might sound fun, but I can't imagine, picking up somebody who's just not a nice person and having to deal with them the whole 20 minutes or whatever it is that you're in the car. I think that would drive me crazy, honestly. I don't know. Do any of you guys do that? Drive Uber or Lyft or something like that? I don't know if I could do it. I think that I would be very angry if I did that. So I try to be as nice as I can and as polite as I can to people when they pick me up and take me where I need to go. Same with grocery stores and stuff like that. I always try and be very understanding if the cashiers or something are having a bad day or whatever. I just think I think that's what we should all do. And I'm rambling, I know, but that's WIP N Chat, right? Let's see, what else is going on? Not really that much is going on. We got, my husband and I talked to and set up that we are getting solar panels put on our house. Hopefully by the end of the year, which would be nice. It should be. I think they said it would be like 6 to 8 weeks for them to get it out here and get them installed. I know. Excuse me, I need a drink again. Excuse me. So I know that. So we had the engineer come out and go over where they're going to put the solar panels on our roof and all that good stuff. So we've had that happen, and they were going to draw it all up and get everything ready for us to go over and sign. And that was just, what day did they come out? I think they came out on, I want to say that they came out on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday they came out and did that. So we're still waiting on the final design of it and such, so that we can go over it and sign it. But I think one reason it's going to be good is because for the rest of this year, the sellback rate of energy is going to be 1-to-1, which is good because it's going to change next year. So next year, I think Colorado is going to I think the rate is 1-to-1/2. So like for now, our rate is when we get our panels up and we start producing power, if we have excess power that we don't use, we have the option of selling it back to the energy company that is here in Colorado. So our energy company is called Excel. So we could sell our units, our energy units, our electric units to XL, and they will pay us an equal amount of their, whatever the rate is, so their wholesale rate, right? So we would get, they would buy it for 1 unit. If they bought 1 unit, they would pay for 1 unit. Next year, it is going to a half. So if we sell them 1 unit, they would only pay us for half of it, right? So, but because we're buying them and we are getting them installed by the end of the year, once they're installed and running and we are on the XL power grid, we are grandfathered in, locked into that 1-for-1. So any of the excess energy that we would like to sell back to them, if we wanted to, they would pay us 1-for-1 no matter what, which is awesome. But we probably won't sell it back to them in the whole scope of things. We're looking at getting a generator and maybe a battery in the future. They told us that the batteries right now aren't very good and stable, but they are coming along with improvements. So maybe in a few years we could get a battery backup system and it would be worth it money-wise. But we could just buy like an electric generator and store excess power on that for when there's a power outage or whatever. But the biggest thing is that we're getting the rollover. So with the rollover, any excess energy that we have will roll over month to month, and we won't have to spend a buttload of money in the winter and stuff, because we will have excess energy stored up, which is super nice. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I can hear my window's open. I can hear a whole bunch of coyotes just making all kinds of racket out there. It's always like weird to hear. Interesting and weird, because they sound like dogs, but they don't sound like dogs. They sound like, I don't even know what to explain it. Like, it almost sounds, at first when you hear it, it almost sounds like a hurt dog rather than just a dog barking. Domestic dogs have a very loud bark, whereas wild dogs do not. They kind of yelp. It's always very interesting when you hear them, in my opinion. So yeah, we're getting the solar. What else did we do this weekend? Well, not this weekend, but the weekend before. We got a new mattress, and I ordered a new desk chair, but at the time of delivery, it was on back order. So looks like I have to wait until, I think it's October for it to come in. And I could just cancel it and find something else, but I kind of really liked it because it had springs in the seat, kind of like, it was like super supportive, right? It wasn't like one of these chairs where it's just kind of like foam on the bottom, and then like once it gets depressed, it's kind of stays that way, and it doesn't, over time, it just wears out. This one actually has springs in the seat, so it, in theory, should last longer and support better, because I need that. I sit a lot at work, and I sit a lot at home, so I need to make sure that my lower back and my legs aren't hurting that much, or as much as they have to be, we'll say. I do a lot of walking too. I actually don't drive, don't have a license, so like if my husband's not home or whatever and I need to go over to the store or something, I will, I just walk. It's too far. When I lived in my apartment, I used to walk to work every day, which was basically 2 miles up and then 2 miles home. And so I would walk to work every day, but now I just live too far away. I can't walk to work anymore. So I have resigned to walking, like, to the bus stop and such, or I take an Uber. And then I walk my dog, because he's a good boy and he needs exercise too. And sometimes he needs something different than our backyard. I really feel like they get bored with everything too, and they need to have new things to smell and discover and all that good stuff. So I try to take him out as well. We have a cat, but he is an indoor cat. More outdoor than indoor. My husband brought him as we moved in together, because I just had the dog, so the cat was my husband's. And our cat's name is Charlie. He is a very energetic cat, and my husband kind of raised him. He was a feral cat that used to come by my husband's old place of living, and I used to, when he was a little baby, and used to feed him and stuff. And so my husband told me a story of when Charlie decided that he was going to be family to my husband. So I guess he had, my husband had left some food, or set some food out on the front steps for him, and he got cornered by a family of raccoons, like a mama raccoon and a couple of baby raccoons that were trying to get the food. And little Charlie was trying to not to get hurt, obviously. So my husband heard the racket, I guess, and offered little Charlie to come inside to get away from the raccoons. And Charlie did. And he came inside and I guess decided that my husband would be his new daddy, and has been with him ever since, and moved here with him. And Charlie's a very good cat, although he does bring dead things home sometimes, which I don't necessarily like, because sometimes they're not dead. I say that because he brought in, he brought in a couple of rabbits, bunnies, that were not dead. They were playing dead when he brought them in, but then before I could catch him and get the animal out, the bunny out, the bunny became not so stunned anymore and ran and hid in the house. And so I had to get my husband to get the bunny out, which is not fun in the house. So kind of have to be careful, because Charlie will bring in things from outside. Excuse me, that was not something I wanted. So, yeah, but he's a good kitty. It took him a little bit to warm up to me, in the sense of he would let me pet him for a little while. But he's not like a super affectionate cat. He's not one that likes to snuggle that much or anything, especially with people that he's not sure of. So it took him a little while to get used to me, but now he lets me pick him up and snuggle him and give him kisses and stuff like that. And he's a good kitty. I really like him. I had cats when I was growing up. Lots of cats, actually. Throughout my childhood, we had cats. And I think I like dogs more, to be completely honest. No offense to cat lovers out there. I like dogs more, but cats are extremely intuitive, and so they're nice to have because they seem to know that it seems like they know you better than you know yourself sometimes. And so they will come and be more energetic or more willing to be loved when they know that you're going through something. And that to me is really cool. Although my dog Izzy, he's very intuitive too. He really pays attention to both me and my husband, and he's very protective, which is really cute. Sometimes annoying, but cute sometimes, because since we work different hours, the majority of the time we sleep different hours. So if I am sleeping and my husband comes home from work or whatever and comes into the bedroom to tell me he's home and say hi or whatever, Izzy will not let him near me. And he does the same thing vice versa with me. So if Howard, my husband, if he is sleeping and I go to give him a kiss or something before I leave, Izzy will make sure that, or at least try to keep me away from him so that he can sleep and not be bothered. Which I think is adorable. I think it's so cute that he does that, because it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable when I'm at home at night alone, because I know that I will know if somebody comes into the house. Where am I putting this? There it is. So that's good. Getting into the confetti part, so bear with me, guys. It takes me sometimes. I have all of my drills set up in trays, so sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to find the tray that I need. I have one of those what are they called? Towers, I guess, that you would call it, that holds the trays. Tray tower. And I got it from Amazon. I think Santa Direct is where I got it. And I've got 3 of them stacked on top of each other, so that with this one, because this diamond painting here has 50 colors, so the one that I have 3 of them stacked on top of each other, and they each can hold, what is it, 24? I think it's 24 colors. So I have more than enough room for all 50. So I just, because this has got a lot of confetti, let me tell you. There's a lot of confetti on this. But I'm really liking it. I'm really liking all the colors. Really liking how it's turning out. It's good. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I'm really liking it. What are you guys working on? Are you doing small stuff, small diamond paintings? Are you working on any larger diamond paintings? Are they budget diamond paintings? Are they squares or rounds? What's your favorite, square or round? I think my favorite is square. I've done both. And I think squares are my favorite. The rounds are nice. But sometimes, depending on the canvas, sometimes the symbols on the canvas are too big for the area of the drills, right? So even though, and I've seen this on big, on like high dollar companies too, where it's like, okay, I can still see the symbols going through. So that kind of bothers me. I mean, especially if you're paying like $50, $60 on a diamond painting, it's a shame to me that you can see the symbols underneath of it. Like, I really don't think that you should be able to do that, even with rounds. So squares are usually, I usually like squares. I'm sorry, I got a lot of indigestion today, so I apologize. I prefer the squares. I would much rather see a more full-bodied painting than have it to where I can see the symbols. On the budget diamond paintings, I kind of expect it. I don't really get upset with that if I can see the symbols on that, because they're a smaller company. Their diamond paintings are, surprisingly good for the amount that you pay for them. So I don't really give them that too much crap about that. Too much thought about being able to see the symbols on those. But the ones where you're paying premium dollars, I feel like they, especially because you've got, some of them are hand rendered and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, well, if you're taking all this time, then you need to make it so that the drills cover the symbol. And I know, my eyes aren't the greatest, so sometimes the symbols are small and they're hard to see. But I would almost much rather that while I'm doing it than seeing them when it's done. If that makes sense. I just put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? You guys saw that. Now I gotta ruin this drill to get it out. Oh. There we go. That is not the right one. That was the one that I just got done doing. Let's see. That's this color here. This one. There we go. There, that looks so much better now. Oh my goodness. See? Talk about multitasking. It's hard for me. Alright. This is looking pretty good. What do you guys think? Did I hit my camera? No. I think it's looking pretty good, in my opinion. What color did I just get in my V's? Do I have any more? Don't see any more. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Talked about the solar panels. Talked about the movie. I haven't seen, you know what movie I want to see that I have not seen yet? Is I want to see the new Thor. I know it's going to be cheesy and, you know, whatever. And I'm not really a huge Marvel or... Is it Marvel? I don't even remember. I'm not huge Marvel movie fans. Like, I'm not big on the superheroes per se. But I enjoy Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I think it's funny. He plays the character kind of like Deadpool, and I really like Deadpool a lot. So I always know that as cheesy as the movie might be, it's still going to be fun. So I want to see it. I don't know. I know that when we went and saw Bullet Train, I gave my husband the option. I said, hey, I want to either see Bullet Train or Thor, and he chose Bullet Train. So I don't think he wants to see Thor, especially because of the title, because it's Love and Thunder. Yeah, he's not going to want to go and see that, but when it comes out to where I can see it, I don't know if it is yet, but when I can, like, watch it at home, I am definitely going to watch it, because I think it's going to be a fun time. I think it's going to be fun. And I know I'll enjoy it. I liked all the other ones, so I will definitely enjoy it. A friend of mine texted me today, or yesterday was it? It was yesterday. And I guess he bought the Lego Thor's hammer, which the box looks cool. I don't know how many Legos or whatever it has in it. How many pieces it has in it. That's the word I was looking for. But it looks cool. So I hope when he gets done putting it together, he'll send me a picture of it. Because, yeah, it looks cool. I'm not too big on Lego. I mean, I like Legos. Don't get me wrong. I like the Christmas Legos. Do any of you have those? Like the Christmas scenes. You know, the little town scenes and stuff. I like those a lot. I have one set. I always wanted to get more. But having a cat and having Legos is not necessarily the best thing. Even though Charlie doesn't really mess with a lot of stuff, I could just see it ending bad. I could see him messing with it. And Legos going everywhere. And believe me, Izzy will eat almost anything that's on the ground. So if a Lego goes on the ground and he doesn't know what it is, he's going to want to taste it. And I do not want him swallowing a Lego. That would not be fun for me. Or him. Because trying to get rid of one of those I can't imagine it would be fun. So, but I think it would be neat to see it when it's done. See what it looks like. What else is going on? I haven't really watched any new TV shows. Like I said previously in one of my videos. I think I said previously. If not, then you're hearing it first now. I have my husband and I are watching the old series Castle, which is super fun. So And I'm surprised, happily surprised, that he actually is enjoying it. Because he even said to me, you know, it seemed like one of those shows that, you know, you start watching and then you get like super bored with right after you start watching it. And he's actually watched quite a bit of it with me. I watch it more than he does, but he is enjoying it, which is nice. It's really nice. He likes comedy stuff, so typically all the stuff that he puts on that we watch is just comedy sitcoms or whatever. He likes a lot of cartoons, so he always puts on, he always winds up putting on, what's the one he's watching now? He's watching one that is a Harley Quinn one, and so he watches that, or he watches South Park or something like that, you know, which is fine. I mean, he likes it, so I guess that's all that matters, but not necessarily something that I'm into. I mean, some of it is, like, believe it or not, as long as South Park has been on the air, I had never even watched any of it, except for, no, I take that back. I paused because I was thinking there was one episode that I had watched of South Park prior to my husband and I moving in together. I had not watched any, except for the one episode. And I was never big on like The Simpsons or anything like that, and never into any of that stuff. And that's pretty much all the stuff that he watches, so which is fine. Like I said earlier, because I can't really multitask on a lot of things. I can't pay attention to him and the TV at the same time. He just throws that stuff on, and I don't really have to pay attention to it. So I think I'm like most, from what I hear, most women. I watch detective kind of stuff, and stuff on, you know, murders and stuff like that. I like shows like that. Not because of any other reason than I find it interesting that people, first of all, had the audacity to do the stuff that they did, but second, I find it interesting on like all the different ways that people are caught doing stuff like that. So I like it. But I also like just that's why I like Castle, right? Because Castle puts kind of an entertaining twist on all of it. So you're not just watching a detective show, you're watching a little bit of comedy in there and goofiness, and I like that. Because I do like comedy. I like action comedies quite a bit. So like my favorites are the classics from when I grew up, you know. You got your Lethal Weapon, your Die Hard, you know, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I like. And then my husband actually put on the movie, I think it's called Heat, last night, which surprised me because it's you know, Sandra Bullock and that, I don't know what the actress's name is, but the one that was in that TV show Mike and Molly. It was those two as cops that were going after, you know, trying to solve this crime or whatever. And so it surprised me because he put it on. It's a buddy cop movie, which he knows I love, but it's two women cops, and he didn't really talk through it either. So it was a surprise. So, you know, I watched that the other night or yesterday, and that was actually, you know, I was surprised at how good that movie was, because it wasn't one that I actually wanted to see. So it was a nice surprise. I used to like Sandra Bullock a lot, but now, believe it or not, and this is probably really bad of me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because this is how I feel. And I have a really difficult time watching Sandra Bullock in movies now because of her plastic surgery. Like, it bothers me that her face doesn't move anymore. I watched that movie. We watched the movie that she just put out. I think it was on Amazon with Channing Tatum, which I thought was a really cute movie, but it bothers me that her face doesn't move. Like, she used to have definition in her upper lip and nose area, and now it doesn't move. I'm just having a hard time with that. It might make me really shallow or whatever, but it's very difficult for me to watch a movie that she's in now because of that. And I hope she loves herself. She's still gorgeous. I'm not saying that she's not beautiful. She's still beautiful, but it's just very odd to me. I'm having difficulty with that. Let's see what else. I don't know what else. These colors are really pretty. I know you guys really are only seeing just a tad bit of the colors here, because the majority of the spot that I picked out was white, but these colors are really pretty. And like when I zoom out and you see the whole scope of it, it's so colorful. There's like 7 ABs in this kit, and they're using them, I think, very well. They're not using them for whole sections, so to speak. And the colors that they chose, I think, are really nice. Like one of my favorites is the yellow AB. And I'll zoom out and show you when I get done with this section. I'm almost done. But one of the colors is a yellow AB, and it's super pretty. I love how all the other colors are reflecting off of it, and it almost gives it like this golden mustard color, which is really cool to me. It's neat. I'm really liking it a lot. And I was surprised at the definition in the lion's mouth here. I didn't know if this size would be good enough to see the definition, like in its nose and its mouth and its whiskers, you know. But it's really coming along. I'm really actually quite pleased with it. just so far. And I'm not sure what color frame I want to put this in for her. Maybe just a simple black one would be the best. That way it doesn't really distract from any of the colors in the painting itself. I mean, that might be the best thing, is to have a black one. I was thinking either black or white, and I think that if I got a white frame, it would accentuate the lion. But then again, I don't know. Well, I guess I'll have to wait and see when it's all done. To see what it looks like, to determine what kind of frame I want to put it in. Or I could just leave it up to my husband, since, you know, I picked out the diamond painting. He could pick out the frame. He could help with that. That would be, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just have him pick it out. He's got a very artistic eye. He doodles a lot, and it's amazing. He calls them doodles. They look too good to be doodles to me, and he just, it's not something that he does all the time. And I don't really see him doing it here at home very much. He usually does it in passing on his little notepad at work, his scrap paper at work. He will doodle some things, and sometimes he sends me a picture of them. But he doesn't like, he thinks it's weird that I want to save all of them. He's like, why? They're just doodles. I'm like, yeah, but they're so cute, you know? But he doesn't really think of himself as an artist, which kind of throws me off, because I think he's a wonderful artist. And I honestly wish he would draw more. But then again, if it's not something he's passionate about, can't force him to do it. I just think that he does wonderful drawings. His brother, he told me when he was younger, his brother was for lack of better term, a street artist, and was very, very talented. And I asked him if he learned it from his brother, and he said, nah, it just kind of comes naturally to me. I was like, what? That's crazy talk. But yeah, so that's what he says, though. It's just easy for him. All right, we're going to zoom out here so you guys can see the whole picture, or at least most of it. If I pull this down this way, you can see what I've done so far. All the way up, maybe. I gotta stand up. Let me stand up. You can almost see all of it. Excuse me, my hand. Put my hand in front of it. I don't know. That's as much as I can get in screen right now. But you are seeing most of it. There's just a tiny bit on either end that you're not seeing. Very, very small amount. But you can see all of the colors in it. Like the nice blues and purples right here and pinks right here. And I really like the shading that they've got going on in the muzzle part of the lion. And the way the whiskers are coming out, they're very defined. It's very nice. And how colorful the mane is going to be. I'm just hoping that the mane doesn't get washed away in the background, but looking at it through the camera, I don't think we're going to have that problem. It looks very nice here. So we're getting close up here to where the eyes are. I'm excited to see them because I know that some of the yellow ABs are in the eyes. I have some yellow ABs right in here. If I can pull them out for you, where are they at? Here they are. So I don't know if you can really see them because it's so dark. Let me move my light. Maybe that'll help. Nope, not going to help. But yeah, let me move this back down. Maybe I can get it in here. So they got, depending on what you're looking at here, the way the light hits them, you got like a mustardy color in there. You can kind of see it right in there. If I show you on this part here, you might be able to see it better, how the orange kind of reflects off of it there, giving it more of a mustardy color right in here too. It's really neat, really neat. I know that I probably don't have the best lighting for this, but you guys are coming along for the ride. You guys are learning with me on how to make YouTube videos. I'm excited about it. Are you excited about it? Probably not, but that's okay. Well, you know what? If you made it through this whole video, I really appreciate it. And you guys are phenomenal people. Leave me a comment if you have watched this video or any other videos and want to give me some feedback. Constructive criticism is helpful. Please don't say anything mean. Not that I can't handle it, but I really just don't want that on my channel. But you know, let's build a community here. Let's get ourselves a nice community going and share with each other how our paintings are coming, how our lives are coming, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.